meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, starting off with our time lapse, you can see started off with more of those blue skies, but as we got the afternoon rolling in, more of the wind started picking up some of that dust and the partly cloudy skies. Going into the evening, they left, but the dust still stayed a little bit in the atmosphere. Better than what we saw the last couple of days, though, luckily. Of course, got that great sunset around 7:45 to 8 p.m., and with that, temperature started coming down, especially with how dry the air is out there. Already down through the 50s, seeing some 40s, 49 degrees up in Sterling City right now. Still a little bit warmer towards the I-10 corridor, 59 degrees in Junction, 58 over in Sonora. So about a good 10-degree spread. That's what we're looking for across the Concho Valley, and that's what we have right now. And when we're looking at those current winds, they came way down from what we saw earlier. Down to about 4 miles an hour here in town, 5 for both Ballinger and Sterling City, 8 miles an hour maxing it out down towards I-10. But comparing that to the maximum winds we saw earlier today, take a look here. We got up to 31 mile an hour sustained wind here in town. Those gusts are on the bottom, 41 miles an hour here. Junction, the winner for those high winds today at 50 miles an hour, similar to what we saw yesterday at that 52 mile an hour gust. So definitely still a pretty gusty day, but luckily, like I said, those winds starting to come down as we go into the overnight hours, and it's going to remain that way until we get into tomorrow, and then still not too bad, luckily. For the dew points out there right now, still pretty dry in the 20s across the board, 28 in Junction, 24 here in town, 22 for Sterling City. Relative humidity indices following that same trend throughout the 30s for most of us, some of those 20s out there as well. And whenever we're going to go into the upper level pattern, you can see this is what's been causing all of our winds recently, this upper level trough continuing to bring that severe weather off towards the east as it continues that way. Upper level ridge moves in right behind it, but for us, I'm focused on Wednesday as we get that next trough in place. Going to be our next sort of winds moving in, as well as a cool down, but also looking like a dry one, which means those elevated fire danger conditions here to stay with us as we go into next week, unfortunately. For the severe weather outlook, really targeting areas from Mississippi into Alabama and Georgia there for that level 4 out of 5 category. Going into tomorrow, that moves off towards the eastern seaboard a little bit, the I-95 corridor from Florida into Washington, D.C. with that level 2 out of 5 risk. Could still see some of those severe storms popping off. When we're looking at the infrared satellite, you can see still have that tornado watch box up there, maybe just 1 or 2 tornado warnings, looking better than what we saw earlier today where we had multiple going at once, luckily. Still seeing plenty of flash flood warnings from all of the rain that it's bringing down into the Appalachian Mountains. You can see really targeting Alabama right now, and that's going to continue moving off towards the east. A little bit of snow there in Missouri, and of course across the state of Texas and into the Concho Valley. Still dealing with just a little bit of that Virga making its way into Crockett County. Just some of those upper level cloud covers is what we're looking at. Probably just rain that the radar's picking up, but not quite making it to the ground, unfortunately. And you can see that here on the Futurecast, really just picking up some of that cloud cover. Going to continue to work its way out as we go through the overnight hours. Whenever we look at the entire nation, we can see that major storm just pushing down into the East Coast. Plenty of severe storms probably in the crosshairs for tomorrow as it works its way across. Back here in town, still seeing those pretty great conditions. Off towards the west coast, an atmospheric river. The state of Texas steering clear of most of these storms for tomorrow, so looking like a great day to get out there and take advantage of it as we go through the day. So for tonight, pretty chilly down to that 39-degree mark. Winds out of the west about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, a great day, 76 degrees. And it is still technically winter, even though it's not quite feeling like it out there. Spring is just right around the corner, only about 5 days away now. March 20th is when it's going to be starting officially. About 4:01 a.m. is when our official spring begins. We're already in meteorological spring, of course, but temperatures are following suit, definitely feeling like it out there. 76 tomorrow, 85 for your St. Patrick's Day, but those breezy conditions here to stay as we go into next week. Spring starts there on Thursday, and then we're looking at a great weekend ahead in those mid-80s. That's all for your 7-day forecast.